they mocked the maid's daughter on stage. What happened next shocked everyone. No one expected the quiet girl in the corner to become the center of attention. The room was buzzing with laughter, but the kind of laughter that leaves a chill in your spine. They pointed at her. She was overweight, the daughter of the family maid, and demanded she dance for their amusement. She hesitated, heart racing, feeling the weight of every mocking gaze. And then, the first step she took changed everything. The laughter stopped, jaws dropped, and in that moment, everyone realized that underestimating her was a mistake they would never live down. Elena had always been quiet, observing the world with a patience born of necessity. Her mother worked tirelessly as a maid in a wealthy household, often sacrificing her own dignity to ensure Elena had food, school supplies, and a little love. Elena had grown up knowing she didn't quite fit in. At school, her classmates teased her for her size. In the mansion where her mother worked, she felt invisible, existing only in the background, like a shadow that belonged to someone else. The day of the grand summer party changed everything. The living room shimmered with decorations and the soft glow of crystal chandeliers. Guests in expensive attire mingled, sipping champagne and making small talk. Elena sat quietly near a corner, trying to blend into the wallpaper. But some of the adults, bored and cruel in equal measure, decided to make a game of it. They called her over, laughing at her weight, insisting she dance in front of everyone. "Come on, show us your moves, chubby girl," one man jeered. The humiliation was immediate and suffocating. She felt every eye drilling into her, the weight of their assumptions pressing down. But what they didn't know was that Elena's spirit had been quietly growing stronger in the shadows. At first, Elena froze. The laughter intensified. She could feel the flush creeping up her neck, her stomach twisting. But instead of crumbling, something inside her clicked. She realized that this was her moment, not of shame, but of power. Slowly, she began to move. The steps were hesitant at first, but her confidence built with each beat. She swayed to the rhythm of the music that had previously been nothing more than background noise. The laughter started to falter as her movements became more fluid, more expressive. Elena's body, which had been the target of ridicule, transformed into a vessel of grace and energy. The room shifted. Whispers began to circulate. "Is she dancing like that? I've never seen her move that way." The guests, who moments ago had been so certain of their superiority, found themselves captivated. The rich tapestry of the party, the grandeur, the arrogance, faded into the background. Only Elena remained. Every step she took told a story of endurance, quiet rebellion, and unspoken talent. The man who had first mocked her felt a sudden pang of unease. His smirk wavered, replaced by astonishment. Elena's movements became bolder, her smile growing, a silent assertion that she was not defined by the assumptions of others. The energy in the room had changed completely. Where once there was scorn, now there was awe. Even the adults who had orchestrated the humiliation could not look away. The initial cruelty they had wielded as a weapon had backfired spectacularly, and a tension that was almost tangible spread through the room. Then came the moment that no one in that glittering hall would ever forget. Elena leaped, spun, and landed with a flourish that made the music feel alive. The laughter had vanished entirely. The same people who had dared to humiliate her now watched in stunned silence. Elena's movements were not just dance. They were a declaration, a confrontation of every stereotype, every whispered insult, every assumption they had made about her and her mother. The man who had mocked her first stepped back, his face pale, eyes wide. The power dynamic had shifted completely. It was no longer about wealth, status, or perceived superiority. It was about the undeniable presence of someone who had been underestimated and refused to be broken. Elena's confidence radiated through. Every gesture, and with it, a wave of respect began to ripple through the room. No one dared interrupt. The music ended, and for a moment, time itself seemed suspended. Elena stood in the center, breathing heavily but proud. And then, slowly, applause began. Not polite claps, but genuine recognition, a collective acknowledgement that what they had witnessed was extraordinary. The first person who had mocked her even hesitated before clapping, a blush of shame coloring his face. By the end of the evening, the story of Elena's dance had spread among the guests like wildfire. Conversations shifted from trivial gossip to admiration for her courage and talent. Her mother watched from a quiet corner, tears streaming down her face, realizing that the very system that had tried to diminish them could not contain their spirit. Elena's transformation that night became a lesson far beyond dance. It was a story of resilience, of refusing to let others define one's worth. The humiliation they tried to impose backfired, revealing instead the strength, talent, and dignity of someone they had overlooked. And in that room, filled with wealth and privilege, the social order had been upended, not through confrontation or anger, but through undeniable talent and self-assured grace. That night, Elena didn't just dance. She challenged every expectation, every prejudice, and she won. The guests who had laughed learned a powerful lesson. Underestimating someone based on appearance or background is a grave mistake. Elena's story remains a reminder that dignity and talent are not owned by the privileged, and that courage often blooms quietly, ready to astonish the world. The next time someone tries to diminish you, ask yourself, could the one they mock today become the one who changes everything tomorrow?